Hey, welcome to the coffee run for this morning. It is episode 136. Absolutely insane, I reckon, that we are just for the coffee run 136 episodes in, pretty much daily. And I know that if you go back and you were to look at some of the other videos, hey, Kelly, because obviously there's a lot more. There's hundreds of videos in here. So welcome. Thank you. Thanks for continuing to hang out and have fun and listen to me barrel on about the messages and the stuff that I've been working through and the way, I guess, ultimately my whole thing is around, helping you to be able to build a really freaking amazing, successful business, but also an amazing life, a limitless life where you get to have everything that you want, whatever that might be. You get to experience all the stuff that you want to be able to experience and, be inspired and motivated along the way. So what I thought that I would talk with you about today, this is always the way that things happen these days. It's really funny, actually. As an aside, I don't know if you guys experience this, and I'm sure the coaches in the room, the mentors in the room, the healers in the room, like when I say the room, I mean, like the interwebs, you guys who are watching, I'm certain that you have moments where you might pick up a book, right, to read. And you read a really important passage, or there's something that you're just like, oh, that's really kind of poignant and powerful. And yeah, okay, I got it. And then you will talk to someone either literally later on that day or maybe the next day or that evening, and you're like, bang, this is why I read this. This message is exactly for you. I just, accessed exactly what it was that I needed. This happens to me all the time. It's really kind of freaky. Which it's not really freaky because it's how the universe works, right? It's how source works. It's like you get the right thing put in front of you at the right time. Hey, Catherine, it's a bit like Kelly says to me all the time. She's like, how do you know what's going on in my head? And it's like, well, I just trust that the cameras are working in your house. Just tricking. And it's like, I just trust that whatever it is that I need to share is exactly what it is that you guys need to hear on the day that you need to hear it. And, Bonnie, I think the other day actually said something really similar. It's just like, it's always the thing that you need to hear. So, yay, I'm really happy to be that person for you. Hey, Gary, all the way in Canada. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I don't know what time it is over there, but thank you for joining. I hope that you're warm in the middle of this bloody cold winter that you guys are having. So, the thing that I wanted to chat with you about today is an experience that I had just this morning, and it's happened, it's something that's happened, I guess, a lot over the years, and it's around this topic of being activated or being pissed off by something. So this might occur when you are, driving along the road and somebody does something and you react. It's almost like it's not necessarily a rational thing that happens, right? It's not necessarily a logical process that happens. It can often seem a little bit like a knee jerk. It can seem, wow, that's kind of strange, and it might have come a little bit, left of center. It might be that you're doing something in the kitchen and then the kids do something and you just go from zero to freaking hero, but not hero. Like it's like the opposite of hero. Villain. You go from zero to villain in like 3 seconds flat. I hope I'm not the only one who's guilty of that, because I'm gunning for the Mother of the Year award this year because I didn't win it last year. So anyway, being activated. So this morning I was there were two separate incidences. Two separate occasions this morning where I was looking at my Facebook newsfeed. One, as I was getting ready, I was waiting actually for Dom to make his smoothie before we went out on a walk. Oh, Geordie, I'm so glad that you understand that. Catherine, excellent. Well, we're not alone, right? It's one of the most beautiful gifts that we can give each other, I think, is letting each other know that it's not just you. We're all flawed. Apparently I'm not perfect. It's really irritating. That's another thing that activates me. No, just tricking. So this morning I saw one post, and it was a woman And it was pretty, like, it was completely innocuous. It's like, it didn't mean anything. It was just like this thing, and I'm just like, Argh! Like, it was like an instant reaction. It wasn't about, in this one, it wasn't about what was posted. It was just that. And then another one, as I was, what was I doing? Oh, I was on my phone before I started journaling today, just scrolling through Facebook, just killing time. I'd already worked out, and I think I'd already had a shower, and I was like, mind-numbing scrolling, that activates me. This is an external activation. And then I saw another post and a photo of a woman where there was like one of those picture quote things. And again, it was just like, it was talking about authenticity. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you and your stupid bloody rah, 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 rah. And I got really angry, right? And so I had to, yes, I'm human, okay? Human, flaws and all. And I was like, well, actually, that's kind of interesting. So I grabbed up my journal and I'm like, all right, well, let's journal on this, because there's obviously something in this that I need to work through. And this is really the gift if you are really self-aware, which I know that you guys are, and you're becoming a lot more self-aware. It's like, well, why am I pissed off about this? Why? It doesn't even matter to me. This is freaking ridiculous. These people are of no consequence to anything that I'm doing in my day-to-day life. They're not even really in my world other than in my news feed, which they don't even need to be in there, because I could just, anyway, that's a solution. But anywho, so the gift and the activation. So I grabbed out my journal. I'm like, okay. And the prompt was, so my first paragraph in my journal today was, I saw a post by blah this morning, and my instant reaction is, I saw such and such in there as well, and that sparked the same reaction. It's curious, isn't it, the things that activate us? So let's explore it. This is literally what I've written in my journal. So other thing I've got, I think with some people, they just rub me up the wrong way. And it's actually really unfair to them, because what they're doing is the same thing that I do, on a daily basis, essentially. I'm putting myself out there. So what is it about them in that moment that pissed me off? And the thing that I had to sort of like look in is like, okay, so why did they activate you, Nicola? And it's like, well, is it a feeling of not feeling good enough? Is it this what I'm writing my thing? Is it a feeling of whatever? And what it came down to, and what I kind of worked through, and the steps that I worked through, and I'll talk to you about the actual steps and the process. I'll summarize it for you at the end with how I did it. It's just kind of like, well, to me, but the both of them, and this is why the activation was really like there in my face. It was both of them, I believe, have operated outside of integrity. Now, they might not be operating outside of integrity with the way that they see it for them, right? But for me, my view of the world, my values, my thing is that, I don't actually think that they should be doing things in that way. And I've had experiences with these particular people that, it's not the way that I do business. It's not the way that I run business. So there's, I think that's kind of interesting. So one of them, in my view of the world, is selling something and not delivering. And I've heard it not just from my own experience, but from many other people as well. And I'm just like, it's really shit, actually. And you're talking about authenticity. And I think that that's kind of wrong, but on the other hand, it's like, well, actually, just because that's the way that I view the world, just because that's my value set, because of, what really, what I really endeavor on a daily basis to live by is being my true and authentic self, not in the buzzwordy way, and trying to live from a place of absolute integrity, every single day. It's like that was a really big, interesting kind of thing. So the next thing that I needed to kind of work through, so, I identified what it was that really activated me. Got me really fiery. And then it's like, okay, so the next thing, and I think this is where the beauty is that if you're being activated by someone, it actually has nothing to do with you. It's a really beautiful mirror that you can then hold up to yourself and ask, well, is there anything that I'm doing? Is there anything that I'm saying that is out of alignment? That is out of the way that I think that integrity should be? And it's like, well, what I actually did is I worked through every segment in my world, and I'm really brutally honest with myself. It's like, well, is this, have we explored that? I spoke with you guys yesterday about a new program that I'm going to be unleashing over the next few days or so. And it's like, well, is there anything in that that's out of integrity or out of alignment? Is there anything in my health at the moment that's out of integrity or out of alignment? Is there anything in my relationships? Is there anything in my spirituality? Is there anything that I'm doing or asking you guys to do that is out of integrity or out of alignment? And I think that's a really key point there, is that you can't ask your people to do stuff, particularly if we're in the world of, coaching, transformation, that mentoring, personal growth, development, business growth, business development type space. I really don't believe that we should be asking our audiences, you guys, like I can't ask you guys to do something that I haven't done or that I would be unwilling to do, right? I think that's like, or that I've never done, unless I was very, very clear. It's like, you know what, guys, I've never been skydiving. I hear it's freaking amazing. You should totally go and do it. It's, to me, integrity is being brutally honest. And sometimes it might feel like you're kind of at the detriment of your own business or your own sales or your own success or whatever. But I think for me, it's a not negotiable pillar in everything. So I had to make sure that there was nothing in the mirror there that where I've been, or possibly, just value checking, is there anything there where I'm out of integrity or out of alignment? And it's like, you know what, actually, no, I'm all good. I'm all good. And if anything was supposed to come up, it would have. So it was just like, okay, so perhaps this is just the reminder of clearing my space, right? So I'm being quite brutal at the moment. Brutal's maybe not the right word. I feel like it's a sword. I'm just like, that's not good for me. That is out of alignment. Go. This is not good for me. It's out of alignment. Like slice with my little sword. Bang. It's done. And I think that that's something that's really important. You want to be really aware, and it's like methodical is not the right word, but you just want to be really aware of what you're allowing into your space, right? I didn't have the words. It's kind of like you're whittling, what it is that you want. You're whittling away at the stuff that no longer serves you, or the stuff that activates you, so long as you're doing the work and the healing and stuff like that. The next piece to all of it, which I think is really important, so we've got our logical brain has gone through, it's like, okay, so this is what I was triggered about, this is why I was triggered, I've done the turnaround, we've worked the mirror, I've done all of that, okay, cool, like we've done all of the logical, conscious mind stuff. It's also really important to get it out of your energetic field as well. So one of the things that I do religiously, actually every day, sometimes multiple times a day, depending on what it is that's going on, is we just want to cut cords. You want to cut, if you imagine that there is an energetic cord, funny that I've got this t-shirt on today, follow your intuition. It's pretty cool. Anyway, imagine that you've got an energetic cord from your heart, your solar plexus, from wherever it is in your embodied chakra system, and it's plugging in to that thought form, which is the trigger, right? So the trigger is in your field, and there's a cord, an energetic cord. I imagine it's kind of like spaghetti, like plugged in to that thing. We don't want to be energetically attached to that thought form anymore. Like, we've done the logical stuff, but it doesn't actually get fully rid of it. So we want to cut the cord, right? So if you imagine as like that's that activation, grab the cord, cut. I normally cut 3 times. I don't know why I did it 5. Grab it, throw it into a 50-foot hole, cover it over. Imagine like in the earth, cover that shit over and clap your hands. So do that. And then there's some other energy work that I do just to kind of really clear it away and get rid of it. So we've got the logical conscious mind stuff. We've got the energy piece. We cut the cords, get rid of that stuff. And then I think this is where the blessing is. And if you're really committed, and I know that you are, if you're really committed to the growth of your audience, the growth of your people, the growth of your groupies, your fans, your followers, your clients, your family, there is always a message in the thing that's activated you that you can then share with your people, right? Now, the disclaimer around that, or the caveat around that, is that if it's been something that's really kind of deep and traumatic that you've just worked through, then perhaps you don't talk about it on the day that it happened. To me, this activation thing is kind of just like, it's just another little, it's like a little splinter or a little, like a rose thorn. It's like, that's a bit annoying, But sometimes the things that'll come up will be a little bit more like, and it takes a lot more to kind of unwind and unplug and work through the stuff that the gift in whatever it is that you've experienced. So what's the message? And then you're going to go and share that. So not dissimilar to what's actually exactly the same as what I've done today. So the steps are, let me grab my computer actually. Hold that thought for 1 second. Because what I'm really, make sure I don't knock my coffee off. That would be freaking disastrous if my coffee, that would activate me. I'd have to journal for 3 days on the distress of knocking my coffee on the carpet. All right, so what I want to do is just want to write down the steps for you so that you can do this with anything that comes up, okay? And all good. It looks like my computer does not want to work. That's really irritating. All right, so you're going to get the bird's eye view of probably my nose. So I'm sorry about that, but what I really love these days is the fact that we can this is really poo. Oh my God, I can't even, okay, that's not going to happen. Logically. So work through it. Work through the processing of it. And then the next thing is making sure that we're cutting those cords to it. All right. Oh, look at that. It looks like the network's back. Thank you guys for hanging out. I don't really know what happened there. The internet decided that you are better off to listen to the replay of those little steps. Clear it energetically. So cut your cords, do all of that. And then just check back in. Is there anything else that needs to be resolved? So I think that's also something that's actually really important. Is there anything else in this situation that I need to work through, clear? Is there any other awareness that needs to come? What else needs to happen? And then the final thing is, well, what's the message to share with the people? And then you will go and do that. So now that everything is working, let me go step 1. Okay, number 1 is write it down. Number 2 was do the inquiry. All right, sorry for not looking at you guys. Number 3 is turn it around to yourself. And we're going to call that the mirror. Number 4 is to clear it logically. So this is where I just write down all of the stuff about it. What I think about it, what I think I should think about it. You know, I just basically write it all out. Just keep writing it all out. And then the point, the resolution, or whatever it is, will actually come out of there. So then what we want to do is cut cords to the thoughts, to the thought form, to the person. Because here's the other thing, actually. The people that you are, like in this example of the activation that happened this morning, there's actually an energetic cord attached to the person who activates you. So you not only want to cut the cord to the thought form, you also want to cut the cord to the person or that experience, okay? Because there's actually no energetic reason. You don't want to be attached to anyone else. You don't want to, whether it's good or bad or otherwise, you don't want to be energetically attached to anybody else. We all have our own connection to source, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, that's really where we can download our information and get our energy. We don't want to get or give energy to any other human or entity. Trust that makes sense. All right, so I cut the cords, then energy clear it. Okay, number 7 is check in and make sure that it has been all resolved. Kelly, I can see the comment on here, but not on my phone. It's really, really weird. Thank you for letting me know that the actions have been helpful today and on point. What's the message in this? And then step 9 is share it with the people when and where and how it's appropriate. Okay, so yes, the pinning of the comment worked. That makes me very happy. So that's us for today. So I thought that would just be, well, I didn't actually think that this is what we were going to talk about today. I thought we were going to talk maybe more about resilience or confidence or whatever, but I obviously, like the whatever it was that you guys needed today has come out and come through, because that's what always happens. What this does, incidentally, though, is it'll help you be more confident in your level of discernment. It will help you be more confident in the way that you process. It'll help you be more self-aware. And you know, we all know that the more self-aware we can be, the more self-aware we are, the faster we can work through this stuff, the faster we can resolve it. Now, what I really, really love about this is that the less weight we have energetically, emotionally, mentally holding us down, the less weight we have, the higher we rise up, right? So Abraham Hicks talks about being in the vortex. And so I kind of feel like, you know, if we're oscillating, if our energetic field and our frequency is going around like this, and we've got all of this crap holding us down, like we're going to be down here kind of spinning out a little bit, right? So the more clear we can be, the more we can release this stuff, the higher we can go, the more frequency we can accrete, the faster we can download our information, and therefore, you know, that the faster we can actually manifest the things in our world that we want to be able to manifest and create, whether it's health, wealth, business success, love, joy, whatever. The less weight we have, the faster we rise, and everything just becomes kind of easier. the more evolved we become, and the more we can help other people, actually, and the more we'll attract the right kinds of people into us, into our worlds, into our lives, the events that come up, and all of that kind of stuff. So that is my little sermon for today. Gosh, I like the light when I'm sitting here. My skin looks all nice and shiny. I wrote that I was shiny in my journal today, and look, bang, there we go. All right, everyone, have a really amazing and awesome day. If you've got any questions about this, please let me know. It's a reasonably large, it's a big freaking topic today. Wasn't planned that way, but as we've discussed, it's kind of meant to be how it is. So any questions about it, let me know. You're welcome to message me if you're curious about it. Keep your eyes open over the next few days as well for the program that I'm going to be unveiling. It's freaking hot. I'm just waiting on the graphics to be done for it. It's going to rock your world, I know. So meanwhile, have fun, get out there and help some people, be visible, and go do what it is that you're here to do. Have a great day, everyone. I'll talk to you later.